There's some breaking news just in to CNN. A federal judge has just delivered another blow to Donald Trump ahead of his second legal battle and court fight with E. Jean Carroll. Let's get over to CNN's Kara Scannell. She's got the details on this for us. Kara, tell us more about what the judge just decided.
That's right, Kate. So this is a blow to former President Donald Trump. As you may remember, he was found liable of sexually abusing and defaming E. Jean Carroll earlier this year for statements that he had made in October of 2020. There is this separate lawsuit and separate litigation relating to statements that Trump made about the same conduct and the same statements essentially in 2019. That case is set to go to trial in January. What the judge just found now is that the jury's verdict holds on finding that these statements, both in 2019 and in 2020, were defamatory. So that is something that this new jury will not have to find. So in other words, the judge saying that the jury in this case coming up in January will only have to make the decision of how much money Donald Trump will have to pay E. Jean Carroll in damages for the statements that were defamatory. And so they're going into this trial with that conclusion already made, that the statements Trump made when he was president, denying allegations that he had sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll in the mid-1990s, and his denials that he even knew her and that she wasn't his type, that will all be found in E. Jean Carroll's favor as this jury trial would begin in January. So the question on the table is how much he will have to pay her in damages. And the jury earlier this year already found that Trump has to pay her $5 million for the previous defamatory statements. Trump's lawyers had asked this judge to put a cap on any future damages. The judge saying here that he will not do that. So it's just a matter now of how much more the former president may have to pay E. Jean Carroll when this goes to trial in January. Kate.
So this is a very big deal. It's no question, it seems, that Donald Trump, on top of the $5 million in damages that has already been awarded that he's going to need to pay up, there seems very little question that he is going to be facing even more damages that he's going to have to pay. Untold amounts we will see coming in January. Kara, thank you so much for the update. John?
Yeah, also significant, it's no longer a question of if. This second judge saying, or this judge in this second case saying it's not a question of if Trump defamed or sexually abused Carroll. Yep. That's settled. Only how much he has to pay for it this second time. Very interesting there. This morning, a brand new CNN poll shows that Trump does have a huge lead in the Republican presidential primary field. He is at 52%, a lot more than anyone else. Of course, a good question is, why? Let's dive into those numbers with CNN senior data reporter Harry Etten. It just turns out that in our poll, we more or less did ask why. What did we find out?
We did ask why, and this to me is so fascinating. The most important reason for supporting Donald Trump is issue agreement. It's not because of his character or personal traits. Look at this. 89% said it was because of issue agreement. And take a look here. Who's best to handle these different issues? This is among Republican adults. Economy, 69% say Trump. 65% of Republicans say Trump on immigration. And on Ukraine, 63%. So it's issues that are really giving Trump this lead at this point.
It's interesting, and Trump continues to hold a lead on the economy versus Joe Biden, even though there's been all these months of job growth, even though there were job losses at the end of Trump's terms, things like that. Let's talk about the charges. And we're actually not talking about the E. Jean Carroll charges, what Kate just reported on. We're talking about the other
other ones.
Cases, the 4 criminal indictments against Donald Trump. What impact are they having?
Yeah, I mean, here's the situation, which is Donald Trump facing charges because of, again, this is among Republicans. Look at this. The clear majority, 58%, say it's because of political abuse of the justice system. This is why the Republican voters aren't leaving Trump. It's because they simply put, do not think he did anything wrong. And we can see this on the specific things. Even if they're true, though, even if they're true, charges should disqualify Trump from the presidency. The New York hush money case, just 9%. Classified documents case, 13%. Overturning, or the efforts overturning the 2020 election, 15%. Rolling January 6 attack, 17%. So even if these are true, I'm not thinking that any voters, or very few Republicans, will leave Trump.
Wow. If true, none of this above 20%.
Amazing.
Harry Etten, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.